Hi, Toby.
How y'all doing?
Good. Before I forget it, I wish your son good luck at the state finals tomorrow.
I appreciate that, Joe. We've, yeah, it's been a long season, so hopefully we can finish on a good note.
Yes, hope so.
Ginger, do you know if Lisa was gonna show up or not?
I hear her talking. Just a moment, okay?
All right.
I was really confused.
How'd you get confused, Amanda?
When I was logging in, it looked different and I couldn't mute and I couldn't see myself. And I was like, what am I doing wrong?
It was almost like we logged in as, not panelists, but, and I think we did,
Yeah,
because I got asked if.
I
if
saw
could-
I was changed to being a panelist, so.
Yeah.
I'd tell you what she was doing, but she might smack me.
Okay, probably better not share.
Let's just start making up things.
Oh, Amanda, I saw Doug Porter yesterday.
Did you?
Hadn't seen him in 2 or 3 years.
That he hadn't changed a bit, right?
No, he certainly had not.
I need to give him a call.
All right, well, it looks like Lisa's made it, so we will forge on here. There's Paul White. I don't know if I've ever seen you on video. Usually you're on your phone.
Still up. I got it.
Learn a new language.
Yeah, and a new language. All right, so I'll call this meeting, February 17th, Traffic Commission to order. First, agenda item is approval of minutes from way back on October 21st, 2021.
I will motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Second by Joe. Any discussion? With no discussion, Ginger, would you do a roll call vote?
you're muted, Ginger.
Okay, Joe,
Here,
you approve or
yes, I
yes?
approve.
Paul White? I don't think we have sound from Paul White. Toby,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
and Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries. There, that's better. All right, looks like we got maybe 5 items on the agenda. Let's go with, we'll start with A, 2022 meeting schedule for Monroe County Traffic Commission. The meeting schedule is in the packet there. Do I hear a motion on the meeting schedule?
I move to approve.
Move to approve and I'll second. Any discussion concerning the meeting schedule?
Okay, I'll take a vote. Joe,
Yes,
Paul, Toby,
Yes.
Yes, heard you, Paul.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
and Reed.
Yes.
All right, motion carries unanimously. Item B. Through truck prohibition on South Leonard Springs Road and May Road. This is something I asked Paul to look into because we was getting some pavement damage there from the stone trucks. Instead of taking the roads maybe that were a little more substantially built for that type of traffic, they were getting lots of trucks cutting through kind of our back roads to get out to the west side on 45. Paul, do you want to go over what you kind of came up with?
Yeah, sure. Went out and took a look at the roads and measured them. They're both 35 mile an hour. Speed limit, and Leonard Springs 17 feet wide. May Road's 18 feet wide, but the biggest problem is the intersection of May and Harmony, not suitable for truck traffic. And so on the attached drawing, I showed the roads that we would prohibit through trucks in pink, and then the alternate routes shown in blue and orange that would be allowable for the quarry trucks to use. So signs would be posted at each end of May Road as well as each end of Leonard Springs. So that's pretty much it.
Any discussion concerning this? I guess one of the first things I have is I guess I don't want to move the problem somewhere else, and I want to make sure that's not what we're doing. Is Pinch Road going to be the intersection there and Paul?
You're muted, Paul Satterly.
Oh, I didn't know if that was a question. Okay.
Yeah, I was asking if you do you feel like we're kind of just
Well, we've got trucks already using Kuntz, Harmony, and Kirksville. So that's already occurring, but I imagine we get a few more possibly. But I think with the Leonard Springs prohibition, I would say they would hopefully use Rockport up to Fullerton and east-west Leonard Springs instead.
okay, like I said, that was just one of my concerns. I don't want to move a problem from one road off to the next road if we can keep from it.
Yeah, I don't think they're using May as much, but definitely Leonard Springs is a problem.
Well, I think May Road is a big problem there at Harmony. When I was driving school bus, I didn't like even going up in a school bus for that dangerous reason.
Yes, that intersection.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say the Leonard Springs traffic could definitely run up Rockport instead and not be too out of the way.
Any further discussion or a motion?
I'd make a motion, Toby, to approve the engineer's recommendations.
and I'll second it.
Thanks, Joe, and thanks, Paul. Ginger?
Yep, I'll take a vote. How do you vote, Joe?
Yes,
Paul White,
Yes,
Toby Turner,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lisa,
yes,
and Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Item C, additional sign on Will Souders Road for the Lake Monroe watershed. Paul, I believe we put some of these up before. Is this additional sign or a replacement or?
No, it's just, they had an extra one and a request to put another sign up, so it's just for one more sign.
And that's, and it comes to us because it's in the right of way, is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
And if I remember right, they supply the sign and post and our guys install it.
Well, we've been supplying the post and they supply the sign.
Any motions or discussion?
I've got one of those signs up there at the end of my road. I think it looks good. It's nice to let people know they're in a watershed. Maybe they'll be a little more careful with things they throw out the windows or dump. So I would move that we go ahead and accept that.
I agree. Paul will second. Any further discussion? Ginger?
Okay, Joe, how do you vote?
Yes,
Paul White,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes,
Lisa,
yes,
and Reed.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Moving right along, item D, 2022 IUCC Candy Stripe Race. Paul, I bet you're been involved. Are you in this?
A little bit. It's similar to the event they had a couple of years ago, using the same roads, Main Forest, Old 37, Anderson, and Bean Blossom. So I think everything's in order. I think we've got their insurance and the plan that they are using, and it'll be a rolling road closure using sheriff and chase vehicles to help support the riders.
did we allow them to park on Old 37 North before?
Yeah, they've done that previously.
Just pulling up the side of the road, Paul, or what are they doing?
They'll park on the shoulder.
Didn't they
Or
do
the-
some parking up there in the forest too?
I think the parking lot there at Bean Blossoms for buses only.
Okay.
How many cars is that parking on the road?
I don't know for sure, but it hasn't been a problem in the past.
I don't ever remember it, them parking on Old 37 North, but
I don't know. I seen that on the map where it said parking is available north of park entrance on either side of Old 37 North. And I don't. That concerned me.
Do
Yeah,
you
I know they've done it before, and
Previously?
All right, what was your comment?
So do you recall if there was any problem previously from when the events were taking place? Because I don't remember hearing any.
I didn't
don't think they've
remember-
had the- I don't think they've had the event for a couple of years now.
No, they haven't because of COVID, but
I
I don't
never
think-
remembered it being on both sides of the road.
yeah, I don't recall any problem with the parking either.
yeah, they did it a few years ago, and I didn't notice any road or shoulder damage. So
Okay. Anybody else have any other concerns or?
I have no concerns from the forestry part of anything, but I was kind of chuckling about the IU part because we have not heard from them yet, so. it doesn't, not important for this conversation. though.
I'm surprised. I'm
Wow.
surprised not to see Aaron in attendance because he had said he'd be present to answer any questions.
Is there anybody, I see, and, is there anybody present that wants to speak to this?
No, the only attendee that was here was for the watershed and she has left.
Are we able to, if, I know that we discussed this in the past, I mean, is it something that there are meeting minutes the last time it was held that where it would indicate if parking had been approved for the, on Old 37 that we should look at?
There absolutely should be meeting minutes. I always hate the theory of, well, we've always done it that way, or they let us do it before. I don't know that even if you don't approve it, that they still don't park there.
Ginger, you were muted. I think you were trying to say something.
I'm sorry. I can look for the minutes if you'd like to see those.
So I will make a motion to approve the Candy Stripe Classic as submitted, granting that when Ginger goes through the minutes and what was previous approved, that nothing's changed, and we did approve it with the parking on both sides of the road, and we never received any issues after that event a couple years ago.
And what are we doing if they didn't have parking on both sides of the road in the minutes?
I think they did.
Okay. If it's the same as before, then I'm passing that as making a motion to approve this as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Paul, do you have anything else to add?
We could keep an eye on the shoulder areas on Old 37. If there is damage, have them repair the damage.
Yeah, it could get, can get pretty soft this time of year. That's for sure.
Yeah, we added that shoulder, so it should help some.
Very good. Ginger, do you want to do a vote?
Okay, Joe,
Yes,
Paul White,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
and Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries. Our last item is our electronic attendance policy for public meetings. Ginger, you want to speak to us about that?
I think Lisa should talk about that.
All right, Lisa, you got thrown under the bus.
Okay, so, so basically every board has to approve an electronic attendance policy for public meetings. It's anticipated that the governor will, that the emergency, I guess, declaration will expire March 4th at midnight. And so far, there's not been any signs of it being renewed or extended. So every board that meets has to have an electronic attendance policy for public meetings to be able to hold hybrid meetings. If you don't have this policy in place, then you have to, the whole board has to meet in person. So as long as we have this policy in place and approved by the board, then it allows members of the public, staff, and up to 50% of its members to attend the meeting electronically. So that's probably the biggest issue is, one, we can still have them as Zoom hybrid meetings, but 50% of the board will have to meet in person. So I guess we'll have to work out the technicalities of it with Ginger each month on who would be able to attend in person. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna speak for Toby and myself, that we should be able to attend in person to take up the slack for other people, because we're in the county buildings anyway. I think I've talked to Ginger about reserving room 211, which is in the showers building, because it's already set up for Zoom meetings. And putting it out there for public notice that that's where, from here on out, our public meetings will be held. It has room for public. It's also set up for, it can be hybrid. So I guess each month we would just have to have everyone submit to, when Ginger sends out the agenda, I guess people will need to respond on whether or not they're going to be in person or if they have to be by Zoom. So there's 7 members. So we would actually have to have 4 people in attendance. And Toby and I make up 2 of those. So then each month we'd have to have 2 of you attend in person, and then the remainder can be hybrid. And if you want to get on, set up some type of rotation for it to where maybe it's less confusing for people each month. But we can't do hybrid meetings unless the board passes to have the hybrid meetings and it's filed with the commissioner's office. That makes sense?
Let me understand that this is not in effect yet. It's at the.
The policy would be in effect.
But it would essentially affect us next month. I mean,
Yes,
if
that's
it-
why, because March 4th will be here before our next meeting. And if we don't have this into the commissioner's office by then they will technically set us up as an in-person meeting for the whole board every month.
I will just say that since I'm nearby downtown already, I'm happy to just be one that will plan to be in person if that will help. If it will help for other people to be Zoom and make that easier.
And we also have the sheriff's department. Of course, they're not on here, but they're also in a downtown office. So I'm hoping we could rely on them to maybe send a representative, and then Reed and Paul and Joe could Zoom in if that makes it easier for people. So.
I mean, I don't particularly mind to come down there. I miss y'all.
Okay, I mean, that sounds great. And then actually, we can have more than 50%, absolutely. But as long as we have the 50%, then we can still hold the meeting. But this gives us the option for others to be able to do it by Zoom.
Well, it makes sense to approve the policy as a fallback. I mean, I'm like the rest of you, I'd much prefer to meet in person, and we'll try to be there in person every time. But we need to have the ability to do hybrid if needed. So, yeah, I mean, I'll make a motion. We approve the hybrid meeting policy, or whatever you call it, Lisa.
Okay, that would be great. And I agree. I mean, if we can all meet in person, I'm all for in person, so.
I agree with Joe, and I'll second it.
Motion from Joe to approve and a second from Paul, and the discussion for me would be, I'd just like to thank Lisa and appreciate you being on top of it.
Yeah.
Ginger?
All right, Joe, how do you vote?
Yes.
Paul White,
Yes.
Toby,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
and Reed.
Yes.
On a good note on that, if people don't want to come downtown, we'll have new offices later this year out at the highway garage with the new conference room. So
Oh, well, that'll be closer to me.
there you go.
I might have to revert back to Zoom in that situation. I take it back.
All right, so we're through all our business. Any other discussion?
Don't let the rain wash you out.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else?
My wife said don't let it wash you away.
I bet she had her fingers crossed when she said that to you.
I don't know. I had my head turned for you. I can't see her back here.
I just want to say, I appreciate Paul Satterly. I know Paul puts a lot of effort in some of these items and sometimes a pretty thankless job, Paul, so I appreciate your work.
Well, I guess that was our cue for everybody to say thank you, Paul. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Here.
All
Come
right,
on, Ginger.
next meeting date is March 17th, 2022.
Um, uh, with that, that is spring break.
Hey, we already approved the schedule, Lisa.
We did, but I did not realize I will be in town that Thursday afternoon. I'll be back from a conference, I think.
Then you'll have to do it on Zoom.
I just don't know if everybody's available.
I'm
So,
not sure if I will be available or not, so at this point.
just wanted to throw that out there, that is spring break, and I just remembered it because our RDC board moved our meeting, and we might not even have any items, so it might be to where we can hold off any items until the April meeting. So maybe if you get requests, Ginger, then maybe we can tell them already up front that we won't have a March meeting, and then just put them on an April agenda.
Okay.
All right. Hear a motion to adjourn.
So
No.
moved.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, now I gotta do this next one.
What time was it?